Alright, I'm about to go to two-wheel performance to get some fork oil so I can get my Suzuki V-Strom done. What are these guys up to here? I noticed these guys are up to no good. That's a deserted deli or cafe. These guys probably smoking weeds. Anyway, I gotta head out to two-wheel performance owned by Sam Ellis in Elk Ridge to get some fork oil and some spark plugs. These guys are pretty cool. Didn't take long to get my little supplies, but you can see I'm heading up here on my little scooter. I can like squeeze by past everybody in their big Hayabusas. Everybody just like looks at me thinking, wow, that's a really fast scooter. You know how it is, thug life. You know, I've talked before about the advantages of riding scooters, but I've never really told you guys about the disadvantages. There are a few, and a lot of it has to do with some of the advantages as well. For example, they're very slow, depending on which one you get. But my 110, it's average. I'll go up to 50 miles an hour. But oftentimes in the suburbs, 50 miles an hour is not enough for riding. You know, 50 miles an hour is great for city riding, but when you get out in the suburbs, it can feel almost dangerous. They're so small that cars generally could hit you if they're not looking. A motorcycle has a little bit more presence, so people actually notice you coming and things like that. They have more of a commanding presence on the road. You get great gas mileage, but you also have a really small gas tank, so that means that you have to constantly be filling this thing up. Every week, you probably have to fill it up twice. But, you know, the advantages of that is that you fill it up with change. Make sure you get a scooter that's made more than a year. This 2010 Elite was only made for 1 year, so getting parts for this thing is very difficult. Scooters like this one have really small wheels, which make the riding very, very bumpy. If you hit any ridge on the road, any little bump, you're going to feel this much more than a motorcycle. The looks of scooters aren't for everyone. A lot of guys are not very confident and they need very macho bikes, so a scooter doesn't really appeal to them. And, you know, if they're a little bit insecure, they would never ride the scooter. Another disadvantage is that because they have such small engines, these engines they're not as durable as a large motorcycle engine. Oftentimes, scooters live in the cities where they do very limited amount of miles. So, you know, having 10,000 miles on a scooter is a lot, but 10,000 miles on a motorcycle is nothing, and 10,000 miles on a car is almost new. But 10,000 miles on a 50cc scooter is a lot, and a lot of people would consider rebuilding motors at that point and things like that. On this 110 by Honda, I've only seen one person that went over 40,000 miles on the actual engine, and it needed quite a bit of work. I did own a Ninja 250 for quite some time. I put 87,000 miles on it, and the engine did need a lot of work, and that was a 250cc. Now when you compare it to the bigger engines that I had, they barely needed any work, like an ST1300, ST1100, Yamaha R1. All of those bikes went that same mileage and didn't require any maintenance, or not maintenance, it didn't require any rebuilds or anything like that. They were still fine. A scooter probably won't replace your car if you live in the suburbs, but if you're just riding it once in a while, that's okay. And I ride this scooter just once in a while. My motorcycle does most of my commuting, and I can just put tons of miles on it without any fear of breaking down. But scooters are extremely fun. When I ride it to DC, I prefer to use the scooter because I can park it anywhere. Alright, see you guys.